quiet strength, my father's name glows on the phone screen. The fifth call. I watch the vibrating smartphone on the glass desk. The smooth surface is nothing like the scarred oak table where I did homework as a child. Outside the window, Chicago's skyline gleams in the afternoon sun. 5 stories up, 800 miles from the single-story home where I learned to make myself small. I remember that house. My finger hovers over the decline button. The leather chair creaks slightly as I shift my weight. The phone goes silent. 3 seconds later, an email notification appears. From Lawrence Reynolds. Subject: Your sister is in trouble. This is your last chance. My stomach tightens. I open the email, the words blurring. Only the last line comes into sharp focus. Chloe's wedding is the most important event of her life. Either come or forget about any future help from this family. Next, a voicemail notification appears. I put it on speaker and press play. Madeline, it's your father. His voice fills the apartment. Commanding as always. I don't know what game you're playing, but this has gone far enough. Your sister's wedding is in 2 weeks, and the festivities start this weekend. If you can't put aside whatever grievances you're harboring for Chloe's special time, then forget about any future help from this family. Your mother is beside herself with worry. Call me back immediately. A bitter laugh escapes my throat. I walk to the closet and retrieve the frame hidden behind winter coats. Gold lettering catches the light. Madeline Ann Reynolds, Bachelor of Data Science, magna cum laude for 3 years. It's been collecting dust without ever hanging on a wall. Old habits die hard. Because I've become too accustomed to hiding myself. My smartphone vibrates again with a text from my mother. Please call your father. He's upset. I glance at the calendar on my desk. Chloe's lavish wedding is highlighted in angry red. 14 days of ceremonies, parties, photo shoots. All for the golden child's perfect day. I open my banking app. Savings balance, $138,139. Enough that I'll never need their help again. They don't know that yet. And memory surfaces. 3rd grade, clutching a report card with 5 A's. My mother nodding without looking up from her magazine at the kitchen table. That's nice, honey. That same night, the living room erupted in cheers for Chloe's participation ribbon in the school play. Did you see how her voice carried? She was the best one on stage. My father's face glowing with pride. I sat invisible on the stairs. Sophomore year science fair. The blue ribbon I won for regional water quality analysis. The chairs where my parents should have sat were empty. They were at Chloe's soccer game, where she scored 1 goal. They talked about that game for weeks. When Principal Williams handed me the award, he said, "Your parents must be so proud." I nodded. The hollow feeling in my chest was already familiar. Senior year. The thick acceptance letter from the University of Chicago. My hand shook as I read the scholarship offer. Chicago, my mother frowned. That's so far away. It might make Chloe feel inferior when she goes to community college. My father didn't even look up from his newspaper. We've already discussed this. You're staying local. End of discussion. The quiet negotiation that followed. I argued that the state university dorms were only 20 minutes from home, where I could study quietly. They agreed, believing I had given up. 2 weeks later, I packed everything I owned into 2 suitcases and boarded a bus to Chicago, leaving behind a careful trail of community college enrollment papers and fake dorm assignment notifications. A calculated risk for my first real independence. Now I stand in front of the bathroom mirror. No longer the invisible daughter. My reflection shows someone they wouldn't recognize. Confident, successful, someone who doesn't need their approval. I return to my desk and trace my name on the diploma. Madeline Ann Reynolds. Product analyst. 6-figure salary. No longer invisible. My laptop screen glows as I open the airline website. My fingers move decisively across the keyboard. I book a first-class ticket home. This time, you're going to see me. I whisper to my reflection in the darkened screen. I pack my designer suitcase methodically. I carefully tuck my diploma between layers of clothes. A gentle smile spreads across my face as I imagine their expressions when they learn who I've become. Have you ever had to hide your success from the people who should celebrate it most? What would you do if your family only valued you when they needed something? My homecoming will teach them lessons they never expected. 2 weeks before Chloe's wedding, I find myself driving down that familiar gravel road for the first time in 3 years. The rental car crunches over familiar gravel. I park behind a florist van draped with cascading white roses. My childhood home has been transformed into something from a bridal magazine. Ivory fabric gracefully adorns the porch railings. My mother opens the door before I can knock. Her hair is dyed precisely honey blonde, not a strand out of place. Madeline, you finally came. Her hug feels performative. Too stiff, too brief. You decided to support your sister. The house smells of vanilla candles and fresh paint. Wedding preparations have turned every surface into stage dressing. My father emerges from his study, reading glasses perched on his nose. He doesn't hug me, just nods while looking at his clipboard. Good, you're here. We need programs folded and welcome bags for guests assembled. He presses the clipboard into my hands. Chloe says these need to be done by 4 o'clock. I just arrived, Dad. Well, now you have something useful to do. Chloe appears at the top of the stairs. Phone pressed to her ear. No, I specifically said cascade arrangements, not garland arrangements. This literally ruins everything. She spots me and holds up one finger in the universal sign for wait. Do you realize this is the most important day of my life? Finally descending the stairs, she air kisses near my cheek. Matt, thank God. The caterer is threatening to quit, and Mom is completely useless with the seating chart. Good to see you, Chloe. Elliot is planning a surprise for the reception. Everything needs to coordinate. Elliot. I set down my bags. Her fiance. My mother explains. You'll meet him at dinner. He's wonderful. Such a successful investor. Cryptocurrency millionaire. Chloe corrects with obvious pride. Elliot Brady arrives at exactly 6:30 p.m. He brings an expensive bottle of wine and wears a smile that doesn't reach his eyes. He's taller than I expected, with the clean, handsome look of someone from a luxury watch advertisement. Finally, the mysterious sister appears. He grips my hand too firmly. Chloe told me about you. The computer genius hiding in the big city. Product analyst, I correct. Intense, he winks. I have a friend developing AI trading platforms. Revolutionary stuff. We should talk shop sometime. During dinner, Elliot dominates the conversation with talk of cryptocurrency investments and exclusive opportunities. My father hangs on every word. Which exchanges do you primarily use? I ask during a rare moment of silence. Elliot's smile freezes for an instant. Oh, it's complex. Mainly private platforms. Exclusive access through networks. Interesting. Where is your company based? Decentralized, he answers smoothly. That's the beauty of blockchain. I have partners in Singapore, Zurich, Dubai. My father shoots me a warning look. Madeline, not everyone wants to discuss business at dinner. Later, while searching for wedding programs in my father's study, I come across house loan documents. Dated 3 weeks ago. Additional borrowing agreement is written at the top. The house that was almost paid off now carries another $150,000 in debt. 30 years back to square one. If they can't make payments, they'll lose the house. Voices drift from the adjacent dining room. Lawrence, are you sure about this house debt? My mother's worried voice stops me in my tracks. That's my family home too. Elliot guaranteed a minimum 20% return. The $150,000 will become $300,000. My father interrupts. You don't understand investing. This is how real wealth is built. I lean against the wall. I organized the situation. House, new $150,000 debt savings, all going to investment, inheritance. Everything to Elliot, all their assets are flowing into a questionable investment scheme. He's a fraud. Aunt Helen's voice doesn't rise above a whisper during what should be time spent admiring her contribution to the wedding flowers in the backyard. You can see it too, I say. She nods with the same sharp gray eyes as mine, filled with concern. Your father won't listen to me. He started saying I've always been jealous of his success. I retreat to the same corner booth at Rosie's coffee shop where I hid in high school, where I studied calculus. The vinyl squeaks under my body. Familiar, but now foreign. Refill, hun? Margie, the same waitress from my teenage years, appears beside my elbow. She examines my screen and her eyes widen. My cousin lost everything to a man who looked just like this. My stomach tightens. Margie pulls a newspaper from her apron. County Herald, April 15th last year. Headline, Local man under investigation for investment fraud. The photo is unmistakably Elliot. The name reads Edward Lambert. 3 victims, total $180,000. All women planning weddings. 2 hours later, a woman in her 50s sits across from me. Karen Miller. Her hands shake around her mug. I thought I was special, Karen whispers. He made me feel chosen. She slides a single photograph across the table. Elliot's face. Same smile, same confident eyes. He called himself Edward Lambert. Karen's voice hardens. A private investigator looked into it. Real name Elliot Lawrence. Used 4 different aliases over the past 10 years. Same pattern, disappearing 3 days before the wedding. I study the photograph carefully. No mistake. Same man. Did you contact police? They said it was a civil matter. Not enough evidence. I thank Karen and compile the evidence. 5 days until the wedding. The knot in my stomach tightens. Where have you been? My mother's voice cuts through the hallway as I enter the house. We need to check the flower arrangements, and Chloe is having a meltdown over place cards. I check my watch. Just past noon. I was investigating something important. More important than your sister's wedding? She presses a checklist into my hands. Your father has noticed your attitude problem. He says you're not helping at all. The familiar weight settles on my shoulders. The invisible daughter, now visible only for criticism. I find Chloe in the dining room. She's surrounded by sample table settings and crumpled tissues. The calligrapher used the wrong font. She glares at me with mascara-smudged eyes. Where were you? I've been texting for hours. I check my phone. 3 texts. The first sent 40 minutes ago. You were always like this, Chloe sobs. Disappearing when I need you, then showing up to overshadow me. The accusation lands with practiced precision. For 23 years, my presence has been somehow both insufficient and too much. I'm trying to help you, Chloe. By avoiding wedding preparations and questioning Elliot's business? Her voice rises. You can't stand that I found someone wonderful while you're alone in Chicago with your boring job. I swallow the truth that my boring job pays twice what she's ever earned. Instead, I pick up a place card and examine the supposedly wrong font. I can call the calligrapher, I suggest. Dad already did. Chloe wipes her eyes. At least he supports me. In the living room, I arrange the evidence systematically. 4 pieces of evidence. Newspaper article, handwriting comparison, detective report, timeline. Today is Friday. The wedding is Monday. Exactly 72 hours away. Elliot's charming smile freezes. For a moment, his mask slips. This is obviously a case of mistaken identity. His voice shows tension for the first time. I have a common face. People confuse me. In 3 different states, 3 times? I point to the newspaper article. All right before weddings, all investment fraud, all the same face. Chloe picks up the photograph. Her face pales. This is definitely Elliot. Names change. Patterns stay the same. I rearrange the evidence neatly. His next scheduled date is 3 days before your wedding. My parents sit stunned on the sofa. Chloe perches in the armchair, pale-faced. Elliot stands by the fireplace, carefully composing his expression. This is clearly a case of mistaken identity. His smile doesn't reach his eyes. I have a common face. People mix me up. Madeline, my father's voice carries a warning. This is ridiculous. Dad, look at the photos. I push the picture toward him. Look at the timeline. Look at the pattern. I have never seen this woman in my life, Elliot claims, pointing at Karen's statement. Chloe stands up. I can't believe you'd go this far to ruin my happiness. Tears flow down her cheeks. You've always been jealous of me. Jealous? The word catches me off guard. I'm trying to protect you. By attacking my fence with these fabrications? Chloe snatches the papers from the table and crumples them in her fist. Chloe. I reach for her arm. The house debt, Dad's retirement fund, Mom's inheritance. It's all going into his investment opportunities. Can't you see the pattern? Enough. My father stands up. His face is red. Get out of this house, now. Elliot places a comforting hand on my father's shoulder. Lawrence, it's okay. She's just worried about her sister. Misguided, but well-intentioned. That practiced sympathy makes my skin crawl. I'm not leaving. I stand up, straightening to my full height. And I'm not the same invisible daughter anymore. Silence falls over the room. What are you talking about? My mother asks. I didn't go to community college. After years of containment, the truth erupts. My father's face goes pale. He removes his reading glasses, his hands trembling as he puts them back on. That's impossible. His voice breaks. My mother grips the chair's armrest with white fingers. I saw the community college papers. I confirmed the dorm address. I forged them, I say quietly. It took me 2 weeks to create perfect forgeries when I was 18, using the library computers. My father stands up, then sits back down. His movements are mechanical, as if his body can't obey his mind. You, graduated valedictorian? 6-figure salary? My father's voice contains an uncertainty I've never heard before. Search for it. I show him my LinkedIn profile on my phone. My classmates, professors, employers. You can verify everything. My mother's fingers tremble as she operates her own phone. She stares at the screen for a long time. Her expression changes from confusion to astonishment, then to something incomprehensible. Is this really you? My mother's voice is hoarse. Tech Fusion. Product analyst? Chloe stands up from her chair. Let me see. She snatches my mother's phone, scrolling through the screen. Recommendations, awards, promotions. Her voice grows smaller. Why didn't you tell us? My father's voice shows pure bewilderment for the first time, not defensiveness. I did tell you. Many times. I answer without hiding my exhaustion. When I showed you the University of Chicago acceptance letter in high school. When I won the state science contest. But you weren't listening. My mother covers her face with both hands. Her voice leaks through her fingers. We didn't notice. You didn't fail to notice. I say gently but clearly. You chose not to see. When Chloe was in the room, I became invisible. My father's shoulders shake slightly. His imposing posture crumbles, leaving just a confused old man. Were we such bad parents? The answer to this question sticks in my throat. Years of anger and hurt collide with this moment of vulnerability. Chloe sinks back into her chair. Her expression wavers between shock and disbelief. And now I'm giving you one chance, a final opportunity to see the truth before it's too late. I carefully gather the scattered evidence and reconstruct my case. This man is not who he claims to be. The wedding is in 5 days. His pattern is to disappear 3 days before the ceremony. Once he has access to all the funds, Elliot's mask slips for a moment, A flash of calculation crosses his face before the charming smile returns. I think we've heard enough delusions for one day. Madeline, my father's voice regains its authority. I won't say it again. Leave this house now. I look at each of them. My father's stubborn conviction. My mother's conflicted loyalties. Chloe's defensive anger. Elliot's practiced concern. When he disappears with everything you have, I say quietly, gathering my belongings, remember that someone tried to warn you. The front door feels heavier than when I snuck out to the library to study at 17. This time, I'm not hiding who I am. This time, I'm walking away with a truth they refuse to see. Have you ever held the truth alone while everyone you love chose a comfortable lie? If you were me, would you walk away or fight harder for a family that won't listen? My next decision will change everything. Just 2 days before Chloe's wedding was supposed to take place, everything changed in a way none of us expected. My phone won't stop ringing. I place it face down on the kitchen counter of my Chicago apartment and pour another cup of coffee in the morning light. I watch the steam rise. 2 days before Chloe's wedding, and the notifications have evolved from demands to desperation. I flip the phone over. 17 missed calls, 23 text messages, 5 voicemails. The first voicemail plays on speaker. Madeline, he's gone. My father's voice cracks. A sound I've never heard before. Elliot disappeared last night. Please call me back. The second one. The accounts are empty. Everything. Even your mother's retirement fund. His commanding tone has vanished, replaced by something hollow. The third one catches me off guard. The police said there's little they can do without written contracts. My mother's voice trembles. They called it a civil matter. Please, Maddie, come home. She hasn't called me Maddie since I was 10. The year Chloe was born and stole all their attention. Chloe's text glows on the screen. You were right. I didn't listen. Please help us. I trace the rim of my coffee mug. From the 15th floor window, Lake Michigan stretches blue and infinite. 15 floors up, a lifetime away from a family that only sees me when disaster strikes. My mentor, Vivian, answers on the second ring. You sound troubled, she says instead of hello. They finally believe me about Elliot, I tell her. No, after he left with their money. And they want your help. Yes. Vivian's silence holds years of wisdom. She helped build my career when my parents couldn't be bothered to attend my graduation. What are you thinking? She finally asks. I press my forehead against the cold glass of the window. I haven't decided yet. Boundaries aren't walls, Madeline, she says after I hang up. They're doors you control. I remember Vivian's words. Boundaries aren't rejection. They're selective engagement. I book my second trip home this month. The difference is, this time I pack only 3 days' worth of clothes. When my taxi arrives, the wedding tent stands half dismantled in the backyard. White chairs are stacked against the fence. Elaborate flower arrangements still adorn the porch railings, wilting. My mother opens the door before I can knock. Her face without makeup has aged 5 years and 2 days. You came. Her arms float up for a hug. I don't step forward. My father paces the living room, phone pressed to his ear. When he sees me, he hangs up. His eyes dart to my designer handbag, the watch on my wrist. We thought maybe you could help, he clears his throat. With financial assistance until we get sorted out. What will the Hendersons think? My mother wrings her hands. And the country club board. Your father is the treasurer. Chloe is curled up on the sofa. She wears sweatpants and my old high school t-shirt. She must have found it in my former room. Her eyes are swollen. If you had been more supportive from the beginning, her voice lacks its usual sharpness, but the blame lands with familiar weight. Maybe I would have listened. You were always negative about him. I set my handbag on the coffee table and unbutton my coat. The living room feels smaller than I remember. The walls still display Chloe's dance trophies, not a single one of my academic achievements. I can help with some things, I say, steadying my voice. Not everything. My father straightens up. Now, Madeline, as your father, I can help you file proper police reports. I count the points on my fingers. I can connect you with my colleague who specializes in financial problems. I can link you with lawyers who handle these types of cases. I pause. I cannot replace the money you lost. Silence stretches between us. But my mother begins. Don't misunderstand. I stop my mother. This isn't a rescue born of family love. I lean back in my chair. I won't let you become homeless. But I'm not helping out of love. I'm helping out of responsibility. My father looks confused. What are you saying? Love-based rescue is unconditional. Responsibility-based intervention has boundaries. I'm offering the latter. My father's face reddens. This family supported you your entire life. A laugh escapes. Short, unexpected. Did it? When we put a roof over your head, food on the table. That's the legal minimum, Dad. Chloe stands up from the sofa. Is being right important to you? Is that what matters? Being right? I meet her gaze steadily. What matters to me is being respected, being heard. I exhale slowly. You need me now, but you never wanted me. There's a difference. My mother collapses into a chair. How can you be so cold? I learned from experts. The words slip out before I can catch them. For the first time, they all really see me. Not through me, not past me, but the woman who built herself without their knowledge, who succeeded without their approval. These are my boundaries, I say quietly. I'll help you navigate this legally. I'll stay for 3 days. I won't empty my savings account or cosign loans. Those are my terms. My father starts to speak, stops, then tries again. When did you become this person when you weren't watching? Do we have obligations to help family members who mistreated us? Or is setting boundaries an act of self-respect? What conditions would you set before helping people who only turn to you in crisis? My father paces the living room. His heavy footsteps assert authority on floorboards I once tiptoed across. As the head of this family, he stops and squares his shoulders toward me hard. I've always made decisions with everyone's best interests. At this situation requires a united front. I sit on the edge of the same armchair where I used to curl up with books as a child, trying to disappear. Not anymore. My mother wrings her hands. Her wedding ring clicks against her knuckles. Blood is thicker than water, Madeline. Surely you understand that now. The familiar weight of expectation presses down. I straighten my spine. You always thought you were better than everyone. Chloe's voice cracks. A far cry from the glowing bride on the wedding invitations. Mascara streaked down her face. Perfect Madeline with her fancy job and big city life. I check my watch. They've been at this for 27 minutes. Coordinated pressure. Guilt. Trying to fold me like the paper dolls Chloe and I used to play with. She got the pretty dresses. I got the torn scraps. When I was 8, I steadied my voice. I won the district spelling bee. Dad said he couldn't come because of an important meeting. My father's mouth opens. I hold up my hand. Later, I saw both of you at Friendly's celebrating Chloe's participation ribbon in track. The silence hangs thick as summer heat. 10th grade, my science project on agricultural runoff won state recognition. The ceremony was the same night as Chloe's choir concert where she sang in the back row. You chose the concert. My mother's gaze drops to her lap. My high school graduation. You left right after the ceremony because Chloe needed help with her hair for her prom date. Grandfather's clock ticks in the corner, marking uncomfortable seconds of truth. Christmas 2020. I gave each of you thoughtful gifts based on conversations we'd had that year. You gave me a generic gift card with the wrong name on it. The front door opens with its familiar creak. Aunt Helen stands in the doorway, clutching her handbag like a shield. I saw everything. Her voice trembles but holds steady. Every recital you missed, every achievement you dismissed. I watched this child wither while you obsessed over her sister. My father's face turns crimson. This is a family matter, Helen. I'm family too, my aunt says. Someone in this room needs to acknowledge what happened in this house. I stand up from the chair, my full height suddenly apparent in this room where I spent years trying to shrink myself. I'll help with the house. My voice fills space I never claimed before. I'll cover the house debt. I'll arrange to consolidate the credit card debt. Relief flashes across their faces, quickly hidden. But I won't help your reputation. I won't pretend Chloe wasn't fooled by a man any decent background check would have flagged. I won't lie to the neighbors about where the money went. I look each of them in the eye in turn. I won't attend community functions where you parade me as the dutiful daughter who swooped in to save you. My father's jaw tightens. You cannot dictate terms in my house. I can when I'm the one with the means to save it. The words taste unfamiliar, powerful, certain. My assistance comes with legal protections for me. The money will be processed through official channels, documented. You won't have direct access to the funds. Think of it as a business transaction, not a family bailout. My mother's eyes widen. We're not a charity case. No, you're not. I pull 3 copies of documents my lawyer prepared from my briefcase. They make a crisp sound as I place them on the coffee table. Charity cases don't have requirements. This does. This is ridiculous, my father shouts, but his eyes track the papers. Page 2 is an acknowledgement. I tap the document. It states that for years, you consistently favored one child over another, creating an environment of emotional neglect. My mother gasps. We won't sign such a thing. Then I leave and you can explain to the bank next month why you can't make payments. The room goes quiet except for Chloe's ragged breathing. My father reaches for his reading glasses with shaking hands. You've become ruthless. I've become honest. I remain standing. The world didn't break me. Neither did you. But I won't pretend anymore. He reads in silence. The pen hovers over the signature line. His hand trembles. Your mother and I did our best. Your best was deeply unequal. The words emerge without anger. Just truth. 10 minutes later, all 3 signatures are etched on the pages. I text my financial advisor to proceed with prearranged plans. I take out my phone and make a call. Ms. Winters, we're proceeding with Plan A. Yes, full arrangements. I listen briefly. Thank you. Documentation signed within the hour. I'll expect copies. I turn back to my family. Rachel Winters is a certified financial advisor specializing in family financial problems. I explain to my family. She'll organize your debts and ensure the house loan gets paid properly. My father opens his mouth to object. This is non-negotiable, I say. The money never goes directly to you. Everything goes through professionals, used only for debt payments and living expenses. I pack my belongings without hurry, without ceremony. No tearful embraces, no promises to call. I hope you find peace with your choices. I straighten my jacket and check that I have everything. Aunt Helen follows me to the front door. Will you be okay? The afternoon sun warms my face. I look down the street where I once waited for the school bus and dreamed of escape. I already am. I walk to my rental car. Back straight, measured steps. The rearview mirror shows the house growing smaller, but I don't look back. Some bridges can't be rebuilt. Some shouldn't be. A full year had passed since I walked away from the Reynolds family drama, and my life had taken on a completely different shape. Sunlight streams through the home office bay window, painting golden rectangles on the maple desk where I've arranged my life in orderly, purposeful columns. I've left my Chicago apartment behind, traded it for this craftsman bungalow with solid bones and history. 1 year since I walked away from the Reynolds family drama. My diploma now hangs in the center of the wall. Madeline Ann Reynolds, Bachelor of Data Science, magna cum laude. No longer hidden behind winter coats. No longer a secret. My laptop chimes with a video call from Leela. the third student in my mentorship program for first-generation college women. Her face appears bright with news about her scholarship interview. "I used the preparation techniques you taught me," she says, tucking black hair behind her ear. "When they asked why I deserved it more than other candidates, I didn't apologize or diminish myself. I told them exactly what I would accomplish." I lean forward. "I got the call an hour ago." "I got it." Her smile breaks bright and wide. "You earned it," I gently correct. "There's a difference." After the call, I step out to my backyard garden. Spring is coaxing the first green shoots from soil I've amended and nurtured through seasons of patience. My fingers brush the tender leaves of tomato seedlings. These will grow strong, unlike the withered roots I left behind. A letter from Dr. Chen, my therapist, sits on the patio table. 1 year of weekly sessions, documented in her precise handwriting. Patient shows significant progress in establishing healthy boundaries and recognizing self-worth independent of family approval. Wednesday afternoons still belong to teaching financial literacy to young women at the community center. Last week, Tanya, a sharp 17-year-old who reminds me of myself, spotted the warning signs of a pyramid scheme targeting her mother. "The numbers don't add up," she told me, spine straight. Texts from Aunt Helen change in stages. 3 months later. Still won't come out of her room. Angry that my sister caused the engagement to break up. 6 months later. Finally writing a resume. But she also says, I should have listened to my sister's warning. 9 months later. Started working at the bank. Started therapy too. My sister was right, but I still resent her. 1 year later. Called me for the first time. I want to apologize to my sister, but I don't know how. Boundaries held firm on both sides. 15 months after everything happened, an unexpected text message arrives on a Saturday morning. "Madeline, it took me 3 months to send this. I wrote and deleted it so many times. Therapy helped me understand. You were smarter than me, and I felt inferior. I couldn't listen because of jealousy. The money situation is okay. The bank job is small, but I'm earning my own way. We're paying back the family debt little by little. Dad and Mom say they don't want to depend on you. I think it's change. Could we be sisters again someday?" Chloe, I read the message 3 times. First with weariness, then surprise, then something warm stirring in my chest. Dr. Chen's words float through my mind. Healing isn't linear. Sometimes it moves in spirals. I begin typing a reply. "Chloe, thank you for your message. I can see the courage in your words." We lost sight of each other. I tried to earn love through achievements. You tried to prove worth through attention. Neither approach was complete. Let's take time. There's no rush. You're healing, and I'm healing too. We never stopped being sisters. Madeline, the garden timer chimes. Time to prepare for tonight. The community center auditorium fills with steady applause as my mentorship program for first-generation college students receives recognition for its impact. As I walk to the podium, the award feels solid in my hands. Glass and metal catching light, heavy and real. When I speak, I scan the audience. No empty chairs where parents should sit. Instead, Dr. Chen nods encouragingly from the 3rd row. Mrs. Grayson from next door, who brings me heirloom tomato seedlings, beams with uncontainable pride. Colleagues from work who value my analytical mind as it is. Friends who ask how I'm doing and actually wait for the answer. When I started this program, I tell the audience, I thought I was helping others find what I could never have. Instead, I discovered that worth doesn't come from external approval. It grows from within when we truly see ourselves. Back home, I open my laptop to finalize details for the Reynolds Visibility Scholarship for students with overlooked academic achievements. The essay question reads, describe an experience where your contributions went unrecognized and how you maintained your sense of value. A notification pops up from Sasha, my first mentee. You saw me when no one else did. That changed everything. As twilight softens the day's edges, I water my garden with careful attention. The tomato plants stand alongside peppers, zucchini, and herbs I chose, planted, and tend with hands that know their own strength. The evening breeze rustles the leaves. It sounds like whispered approval. I touch the rose bush I pruned severely last fall. New growth is sprouting, stronger than before. Some things grow stronger when they're cut back, I whisper, smiling as I survey the life I've built, thriving, rooted, and finally, completely visible. I still don't talk to my father. Probably never will. My relationship with Chloe remains tentative, full of careful text messages and hesitant steps forward. But that's okay. Perfect healing doesn't exist. There are only choices to keep moving forward.